Oh, oh, oh. Wonder how that could have happened. 5 police cars at Ken's place. You didn't think I was gonna let Ken get away with it, did you? All right, Bobby, I'll see you later. Thanks for dropping me off here. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to Whiskey RP 25. After all the drama went down with Ken, I've decided to move to Judith Plains, Montana, not too far from Black Mountain Rock. I forget the name of it. But either way, not too far away from where we were. But all that drama went down with Ken, and I just couldn't do it anymore. We needed a fresh start. We have $500,000 that we have taken out from the business. Bobby is taking over our existing business from us. He's going to run the original whiskey distillery. I'm going to start a new one here in Judith Plains. But Bobby just kind of left me on my own. We're going to wander around here, see what they have in stock, and I need to get a truck first. I need to get a truck. We have money for buying some property, but we're going to start all over with equipment. Looks like they have some good options out here too. Beautiful new town we're moving to. Excited to see the whole thing. Excited to get this started. And there she is. Not a bad start. 7,800. We did find this old used Chevy. Beautiful old Silverado. Oh man, I love it. The green stripe on it. We're here in Montana. It's time to drive around. We're gonna find a property that's for sale for us to buy. We're starting to dig into our budget here, so got to be a little bit careful with what we spend and make sure we buy a property we can afford and still have money to buy some equipment. But before we do that, I do want to take a drive to a production in town that is for sale that we're going to be eyeing. And we want to find out the price of that first and know what we're targeting for that. And boy, this truck stops on a dime. She's a beauty though. We got a Casey's right here. Man, this map is beautiful. I think we're gonna be right at home here. It's like a blend between the two maps that we used on Whiskey RP. A little bit of Iowa looking with the big fields and a different part of Montana. I love it. We can see the building right there to our right. There's a few of them we'll be interested in. There's the Jack Daniels building. There's also looks like a lager building. I don't know if this is the actual route to it, but it looks like, oh yeah, America's oldest brewery. That's sweet. This is the place right here. Good old Jack Daniels. Think this will work. We just got to find out how much they're wanting for it. Quite the facility though. So $240,000 is what we're looking at there. We don't have to start with whiskey. We could go next door and see if that facility is a little bit cheaper for starting. But either way, we're not buying it today. We wanted to just get the dollar amounts in our head so we know what we're chasing. You know, $492,000 is a lot of money, but we got to keep in mind that we have a lot to buy. We have land to buy yet, and that's going to be the most expensive thing, potentially. $240 for this one as well. So let's kind of look at the differences of these two. So the Jack Daniels makes whiskey, and it's going to take in its recipe 12 corn, 6 dried corn, 3 barley, and 12 water, where the beer facility just takes 12 barley and 12 water. So I think we might be starting off with beer here this time around because it'll be easier to get all the goods we need for the production. So that's good to know. Next, we need to find some land. So I haven't actually landed on anything that we want to buy yet. This one we were eyeing, but it's all of our budget. It's a 18-acre open lot that would be sweet to have. There's a couple of these around town. This one's even more expensive, $611. There's this one down here that's $127, and then this one here is $169. So let's go ahead, add that to the GPS in the truck, and let's head down to that one first. Those two that are less than 200,000 will be the two that we're interested in. So it looks like we want to go up here, take a left, and that'll take us pretty close to both of these plots of land. Is this a dirt road we're taking? It looks like it is. All right, let's not hit the sign. Oh, we hit the sign. We tried not to. Oh boy, guys, you know what we got to do. You know what we got to do. Let's back her up a little bit. Coming on a regular occurrence on this channel. We got to send it. Let's go. Here we go. We won't be taking this route anymore, but I think we landed it. I think we didn't land it. We didn't stick it. We didn't stick it. That is not a shortcut. That is definitely not a route we'll be taking in the future, but we're getting close. Excited to see these plots of land. We'll decide between the two of them, and that means we'll need some equipment next. But it looks like to our left here is one of the open plots, and this is decent size, this open lot here. Man, let's just pull into the grass a little bit in case someone else comes. It's large. It's large. Lots of, this looks like some good grass here. Yeah, that only means one thing, right? I mean, we get the equipment, we can start making a ton of money off of silage to start with. All right, so this one is 166 and proximity to town. I don't know if we're gonna be lucky with that because we were, gosh, right here for the whiskey distillery and it's like center of the map. So this one would be closer. We'd probably want to head out this way up that road and back onto the highway. But let's go ahead and tag this next place so we can go visit that next and really decide between these two plots of land. Looks like it's just a bend in the road here, but a beautiful farm right here. My goodness. Look at this place. Could be our neighbors there. Wow. They got some nice facilities there. This map's nice, guys. DJ modding. But this is it right here. I think we have our answer. Let's go back to the other one and let's get the realtor on the phone and get that plot purchased. All right, before we know it, this should be ours. Well, the land's been bought and now we have $323,000 to start with. And you know, a house would be nice, but we might end up finding somewhere in town to stay for a while till we figure that out. But I think we'll head back to the dealership and start getting some equipment purchased. I think we want to cut this grass and make some money off of it first. We found the highway and look at this bridge. This is insane. It's just going over a field, it looks like. Oh, there's some water. Okay. And just the elevation change is what required that bridge. This is impressive. It's a pretty sweet freaking map. But here we are back at the John Dealer dealership here in town. Good spot for us right here. It would be nice to get a package deal on some things, but I don't know if this dealership's gonna do that. This guy with his glasses, I've seen him before. He looks familiar. How you doing, sir? Well, we've spent $157,000 already. Something's running. Hope it's not our tractor. Oh, it's a plane. Look at that. Unbelievable, but look at, there she is. There's our first tractor. There's a chicken right here. Are you supposed to be in your home? I don't... Where are you supposed to be? It's a nice detail. All right, well, this ate up a ton of our money, but I couldn't pass on this. Look at this old Ford. 365 horsepower to start with our first tractor. She's a beauty. So what we'll want next is something that we can put on the back for mowing. And then we might start with a silage pit. I don't really want to. All right, another $41,000 spent here. And I know that this might not be the exact lawnmower or mowing equipment you would use for making silage, but I love this type of pull behind mower here. So we're gonna get this set up home, and then we'll, like I said, we'll baby step. We'll, we'll check the used market and all types of stuff, but this should be pretty good to start with. But 13 miles an hour is the top that it goes. It's an old tractor, good deal on it. I mean, that was not much money for a lot of horsepower. All right, let's see. I don't think we actually took a good look at where our property line is, but we do have this little cutout here and the bigger field. So let's go ahead and back up. We got it lowered. We just have to turn on the blades here and hope that, yeah, something to row this up would be good next. But we can go 14, it looks like, or 13 miles an hour doing this. So just kind of cruise around here, get a good cut going, kind of get a good feel of the size of our plot of land, and hope we're not intruding on our neighbor's property. But we'll definitely be trying to negotiate with the farmers in town to expand by buying the fields right here. And eventually, I think this would be good for a farmyard. But we got to make money off of it to begin with. Let's get a good mowing session done. We kind of talked about it at the intro, but if you're not familiar with the Whiskey RP story, I would highly recommend looking up the complete series. It's a 13-hour video, but the FS22 version of Whiskey RP, at the end, we probably put a little clip of it at the beginning of this video, but at the end, you know, Ken did get arrested running an illegal moonshine business in Montana for years, and the reason he was giving us so much trouble is because we were kind of intruding on his land, in his opinion. And the fresh start that I'm getting here was because we weren't treated well. We had a lot of issues, and it's time to move on. We got Bobby running the shop for us in Black Mountain, and we're here now in Judith Plains, starting over. I think it'll be fun, but Whiskey RP is not just about whiskey. It's about building a beautiful farm from scratch like this, and we purposely bought this empty plot of land so that we can turn it into our own beautiful farmyard long term, and just farm facility. And this one directly in front of us, man, I'm already jealous of. So we'll be trying to compete with them for having a beautiful property here. But getting started with some silage. We haven't done that for a few series now. Did a lot of it at the beginning of FS25, but we're getting back to it here. A good way to start. You know, we didn't do that with the survival challenge right now, but mixing it up, and we are using the new DLC here. Some of the equipment from it, this beautiful Ford, and I think this is going to be awesome. This will be a long-term tractor for us with all the horsepower that it has. So I spent a little bit more than I really wanted to, but very affordable compared to other tractors with similar horsepower, so I felt like it was a no-brainer to go with here and show off some of the DLC stuff. But finish getting this cut, we'll have to figure out a way to row it up and a way to, you know, turn it into silage, whether that's a forage harvester or not. But we don't have a front loader on this tractor, so getting the goods out of the pit might be a problem, and we could clear a certain area here if we did go with a forage harvester, or a forage wagon, excuse me. That could allow us to, you know, clear that area first and then get a pit delivered. And we'll have to see how the money's looking, but we're gonna run dry here real quick and still need a ton of equipment. So that's the thoughts with starting with silage. Don't think there's any combination out there that we could go with that would allow us to do round bales or wrapped bales right now with the money we have. So that might be out of the equation, but we could look and see if there's some contracts that might help us be able to do that. And I think we might look into see if there's some contracts to help us make some money as well. I know August is a good month for that, but I did want to get started on our own property. And the $500,000 we started with, I do want to kind of address as well. You know, Whiskey RP in the original series, we were doing really, really good financially. So $500,000 gifted to me from the company to start a new company here in Judith Plains isn't really going to hurt the overall whiskey operation that Bobby's running. So I thought about taking out a loan, but we had the money, really keeping that storyline going. It makes sense to, you know, split off, similar to what we did with the Iowa section of Whiskey RP last time, and we had plenty of money to do that, and we don't need to go into debt because the overall SWU whiskey franchise is doing great. And I went with the Batwing mower to kind of mimic what we did with the John Deere Batwing and the original Whiskey RP. That was my thought when I found this. I think it's a Bednar. Yeah, a Bednar. And it's got a little, look at that. It's just a beautiful design there. I shouldn't have put the license plate on. I might get that adjusted, but I thought there was a little bit we missed up here. Oh, we're driving right next to it right now. So this should be a good start. Good piece of land here. A lot of grass cut. So we'll probably need to call an Uber and go back to get our truck, and hopefully we're able to hook up a windrower on the truck so that we don't have to drive this back and forth, because 13 miles an hour, that took forever to get here. I know we use it a lot, but it just makes sense for the price. It's only $19,000. The only question I have is, will it hook up to the truck? I don't think it's gonna. I think we're gonna have to get a trailer and have them loaded onto the trailer for us. All right, let's see if we can hook her up. $105,000, not bad. But yeah, that's not gonna work. All right, I guess we're buying a trailer. You know, I kind of made a comment about this last time. This price isn't I had a good comment on the SWU Farm series. This price isn't far off from real life. We are going to buy this $8,000 trailer here. Boy, that's a big piece of equipment being pulled on this little trailer. Let's get her home. In long term, this will be great for moving pallets from the productions to where we need to sell them at. All right, we have a problem. Okay, so we have $97,000. And we have our first issue. You know, all the learning we've done over the years of Whiskey RP, and we didn't learn enough to make sure that we bought a tractor that has the right hookups for the equipment we want to buy. All right, so let's call an audible here. Let's take a look at contracts because we're going to need some money. I think we're going to start off with this barley harvest. We're going to borrow the equipment. All right, we're going to park in this field to the right. On the edge as much as we can. There we go. We'll have to get to know these farmers too. And hopefully we can stay away from drama this time around. Get into the field. Probably don't want to go this direction though, do we? Let's just open this up a little bit and we'll turn around. Get our guided steering all configured. I don't know, a field this size, I feel like one headland is gonna be enough. So we've got that configured for one headland now. Time to just get this first harvest done for Whiskey RP 25 and start making money towards the mistake we made. We need different equipment. We need another tractor that's going to be able to do a lot of the grass work for us. But I kind of like the mistake we made. It's going to make it a little more challenging. Let's get her done. And man, we're about to fill up before finishing the headland. That is impressive. All right, let's get this unloaded. Hopefully we don't block too much traffic while we're doing this. Yeah, pretty good start here. No soil data found, so we have no idea. This is Noah's field. We'll have to meet Noah. You know, there's a digital contract system in town to help each other out. So it's a pretty sweet little area we've moved to. I wonder if he's in town though. I'd like to meet him. Man, is this gonna fill up all the way every time? Okay. That's not bad. So we should be able to get 2 loads in here before we have to head back into the store to sell it. So let's get back in the harvester now and get back at it. This field's a little bit bigger than I thought it was, but it's good money. Like, are these guys stopped because of the sign on the ground? That's hilarious. Yeah, I think they're stopped because of the sign. I don't know why else they would be stopped there. The header trailer can't be the reason. 23% done. You know, the ups and downs shouldn't take too long. It's just the unloading and selling that's going to be really the most time-consuming of this contract, but it's going real good so far. And just about getting to the end of this pass, we're pretty full. I want to see if this does fill up the semi and trailer. Yeah, that's close. Do we have unit convert mod yet for 25? I would love to be working in bushels and not liters anymore. Let me know if you guys have seen it out there. I'll have to Google it myself. Just about full. I think we'll do one more load ourselves and then we'll hand over to a worker to help us out here as we start transporting the goods, but going good so far. There we go. We figured her out. All right, we did hand over to a worker to help us out. So while we're driving back, they'll be doing that and getting it taken care of, but it looks like we're gonna do 3 trips here. Though maybe it's just 2. Yeah, 56% transported, so maybe it is just 2 trips. I guess that back hopper in here is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Take out the sign. Yeah, there's a McDonald's too. Let's get back, get the rest of that harvest done. Let's see what kind of money we make today. Gonna need another tractor. We're gonna need something to pick up the grass with. We got the windrower already. We got a long-term tractor. Mistakes were made, and they'll continue to be made. That's all the fun. And trying to catch up to them here to help them unload. Harvest is just about done. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, the harvest is complete. I'm not sure where they're driving to, but we'll let them do their thing. We're gonna head in and make some money here. See what dollar amount we get to bring in out of this. All right, here we go. I hope the first part fills it up all the way and we get a bunch of money out of this, but we'll see. 93%, 94%. Come on, 94. All right, not so much. Not so much, but we're gonna make a ton of money still. And here comes the money. About 5,000 liters worth. Not too bad. It's $9,000 is the extra cash we get from this, and then when we go to turn in the contract, we're gonna get another 22,000. Not a bad first day on the new whiskey RP. We got some grass behind us that we need to figure out how we're gonna take care of next episode. $128,000 in the account. Needing a tractor. That's not gonna go very far. We're gonna have to find some more contracts, some more ways to make money. But we got a good start. It's nice to get a fresh start at our whiskey business. I'm Socksway Up. I'll catch you on the next episode.